Okay, John, Nick, thank you for your time. So we have now here Red Hat Open Innovation Labs launching in São Paulo, Brazil. First question, why Red Hat is bringing this initiative here to Brazil?
So let me start with that one. So Paulo, first of all, thank you for your time. We're excited to bring Open Innovation Labs here to Latin America, specifically to Sao Paulo, Brazil, because, well, first and foremost, this has been a proven capability that we've been rolling out over the last 3 years in all the geographies. And what we've been able to do is help our customers with their digital transformation and kind of their key initiatives through this offering. And Sao Paulo, Brazil is one of the most important markets in Latin America. It's about half of the market here in Latin America. And so it's very important that we're present in this market with our clients who've been very loyal to Red Hat today for us to be able to help them with their digital transformation.
Okay. And Nick, what are the benefits that the customers get from an initiative like the Innovation Labs?
Yeah, well, one thing also to add to John's answer there is that obviously we're basing the core competency in Sao Paulo, but we are able to do our residencies, so Open Innovation Lab residency engagements with customers in any location. So it's pretty much open for business in all of Latin America. But from that, saying, what are the benefits of our customers? I mean, what we're trying to show them is obviously the power of the Red Hat technologies, the Red Hat platforms. But part of that is when you go into I was talking about it earlier with you about the digital transformation. Too often people focus in on the digital and the technical assets, and they don't focus enough on how do they actually support that transformation within their culture and within their organization. How do their people actually work with the new technology and really change the way that they work to innovate and to inspire kind of change within their enterprise. So what we're trying to teach them is obviously the technical foundation, but other things that we call kind of our open practices, and we share them in our open practice library, where we're showing them how to work in a more open, collaborative culture, trying to take down the true walls and the barriers into saying we kind of taught like the concept of don't work on projects, work on products. Thinking about that you are working together, whether you're an analyst, whether you're an executive, a stakeholder, or an operations, a site reliability engineer, you're part of that product team. So just coming up with new ways and showing them how to work effectively with their teams.
Well, and based on that, I can assume that any kind of company can take benefit of that?
Yeah, for sure. So we launched Open Innovation Labs 3 years ago now this week. We started.
Now, Sao Paulo is the fourth in the world, right?
It's the fourth in the world.
Yes.
We started 3 years ago. We have done engagements in the other regions in virtually every industry. And we've done it from companies that have as large as 10,000 developers to companies that are as small as a new startup. So we can address large and small customers, new business and old business, as well as virtually any industry on the planet. So it's more the methods, the tools, the processes that we bring to bear that really help jumpstart the innovation, the cultural shift, and help the client really marry IT with the business, which is really the secret sauce.
Yeah, and I think the other aspect is, it's like John was saying, in every industry, whether we've done it in retail, the tech companies, small startups, really everybody's getting exposed to it.
Many government agencies.
State, local, it really doesn't matter. The key thing is it has to be a customer or an environment that is looking to change. It's looking to try to really get value out of their digital assets and of their capability and kind of transform the IT organization. That's probably how they've done it in the past.
You mentioned that the company needs to wish that. What is necessary for the company, for any company or any government, any institution to jump in this kind of initiative and take advantage of all that? What's needed for the company?
Yeah, so I would say a couple things. One is what we've seen from all the companies that have been very successful in this initiative is they typically start with a very small project, something that they can kind of get their arms around because this is a change. So having that vision of what that project is, I think, is the first point. I think a second very key point is they have the executive sponsorship, because this is often going to be a big change. And so you need the passion from the teams, from both business and IT to work together, but you need the executive sponsorship because sometimes you're driving different measurements in how you're saying this is good or this is not good, and how you're incenting and rewarding people to work together. This is going to change for some companies. without the executive sponsorship, it's quite difficult to make this happen.
Yeah,
Anything you'd add?
I would just say the one thing is, customers don't have to know, they want to have the desire to change. That's
Yeah.
all we need them to have. Then we start off with a discovery session with them, and we talk with them, and we understand what is the real business objective you're trying to achieve. And we like to call that kind of the hypothesis. So in the Open Innovation Labs, we do residencies, which are time-boxed engagements. And the focus there is we want to take that hypothesis that we come up with, that you're saying, if I do this, it's going to drive my business this way. We were talking about kind of a regional bank who was trying to get into more of the youth market and trying to get more users in a different demographic. That was something we were able to come up with a hypothesis that we were going to be able to test and say, hey, would this community of users actually like using this new service or new application? So we worked with them to come up with what the hypothesis was and to form it into the frame of what is the business outcome you're trying to achieve within this residency, and then take them through that residency and work through it and come, to build out a new system, a new feature, a new capability on the platform, and then test and say, hey, did we achieve our objective? And at the end of the day, quite frankly, some people go, oh, well, did we achieve the objective? That's success or that's failure. That's not the point. In our mind, it is, did you go through the experience? Did you learn how to set yourself up to be able to go through and at the end actually be able to measure whether you were successful or not? So that would be the other thing I would add.
Excellent. All right. Thank you very much.
Paulo, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you,
It's really
Paulo.
been a pleasure to spend time with you today.
Right. Thank you.